Off, Sherry, we are off.
Yes.
We're taking off, everybody. Okay, so super excited because today we're actually diving right into the content. Now, if you caught any of our episodes before, you know this is all about us being happy. Yeah, are you happy? There you go. Being joyful and living free, right? Okay. So how do we get there? Well, one of the ways is by having fun. And that's why Sherry and I have gotten together because life should be fun, life should be happy, and it definitely should be joyful. But how do we get there? And so today we are starting on episode 1 of how do we start that process. We are in the hopeful stage right now. We're hopeful that we're going to be able to take off, we're going to be able to do some amazing things. But where do we start when so many of us are actually pretty fearful? Okay.
Hmm.
We feel pretty powerless over things that are around us, maybe because there are too many things that we have to juggle and it's overwhelming. Or maybe there are just some things that are so big that we don't even know how we can lift them, right? And the good news here is that there are solutions, there are answers, and we're going to have fun doing them. And that's what Sherry is going to be sharing with us today. Today is all about how to start. How do you go from feeling powerless to powerful? And what are the gifts of power? So Sherry's going to take us up, and I'm going to chime in wherever I have something or other to say, and I usually do. So don't be surprised.
And it's always welcome because this is really about finding that voice. And since we're going from powerless to powerful, we have to figure out where our internal cheerleaders are at. So if we can just shake it up a little bit, just a little bit, this is how we're going to start off, folks. Welcome to the other side of me. Yep. So when we get into this stage of, okay, I'm ready to go and do something, I'm ready to go and say, ah, I don't like this feeling anymore, but my body doesn't want to move. This is really where that frozen and stuck is, you know, that, oh, I can move my body. I can do these things. Absolutely. How many of you guys out there have always just said, but I can't find the energy. I can't find the motivation. I can't get my body to go with me. But why does that happen? That's the part we don't know. And today, October 10th, being World Mental Health Day, it's about recognizing, okay, we're going to get all the way in there, but it's going to start with our very first movement. Your guys' movement today was showing up. I showed up and showed up. And so we've made our first move. We're not necessarily stuck. But what do we do when we're saying we want a goal? We want to maneuver through life in an entirely different way, and I can't find the movement. We have to tap into that cognitive space. We have to get into that, why do I believe or why do I think? Where does that come from? And Anne, I'm going to pull you in on this one because, we are great going back and forth. What is it about your cognitive space that sometimes, and just jog that memory of yours, we've got lots of memories censored now. We've got it. This is a family show. What has
Oh,
ever
come
gotten
on.
you
You're going to ruin
stuck?
the fun.
Where have you gotten stuck simply in the thought? Because that's what prevents the body next from going forward. Because we may say, all right, body's inching, but brain's saying something else. So let's hear it. Let's see where you've gotten stuck.
So if we're talking about where have I gotten stuck physically, not being able to take action,
Mm-hmm.
um, it usually happens if something is really big and I can't really make a decision on what to do. It just feels overwhelming. So physically, I feel tired. Physically, I
Mm-hmm.
feel agitated. Physically, you just it's almost it kind of feels like, not that I ever drove a race car, but every time I've seen them, they're like the engines are revved up at the
Uh-huh.
starting line, but they're not going anywhere for a while. And that's what it feels like. There's all this energy, but I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, we're going to cut the parachute off the body because you said it. It's I thought, this is that cognitive space. I thought the task was too big. It's
Mm,
really coming into that moment in time when you're saying, all right, body's rearing to go, engines are going, we got to step on the gas. So that's that physical movement of stepping on the gas. But that means looking out and seeing our path. What does that raceway look like for you? Well, if that raceway looked like for you a big brick wall, would you run straight into it? Some of us are guilty for doing that. I know I have at least a couple times. But it's removing the barriers. That's that cognitive block. That's what stops us and leaves us believing that we are powerless in any endeavor that we're about to take on. So, if it's in our visual space, simply through the perceived or the imagined terror that we're going to endure. If you were to take out brick by brick, take down those walls, take each one of those, put them under your feet, stabilize your foundation, you are now ready to start to move forward. But we don't move forward without a feeling. The feeling of, well, why do any of us do anything? We're trying to hit a goal. We're trying to accomplish something. We're trying to meet some level of need from that emotional space. And that's really why when we put this together, I very specifically talked about how does the physical work with the cognitive and work with that emotional, because it takes all three to go ahead and get this vehicle that we're in called our bodies to move. So it is our shell, it is our engine, it is the gas. So we all run out of gas at some point, or we're putting in the wrong fuel and we kind of like sputter along there. I think some of us have done that. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. Lessons learned, right? Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Absolutely. So the emotional state is then what feeds right back into the cognitive. Oh, I feel like I can do this. I have the knowledge that I've moved the barriers out of the way. Now the body can go. So, do you see how we're just this big cyclical being that needs a catalyst? But it starts from that very moment you say, I think I can. Okay, for
You
those of
know?
us that are old
Mm,
enough, the little engine that could, I think I can. Yeah, I went there. I
yeah.
just aged us. It's
And
okay.
that's okay. That's
That
okay.
that's absolutely okay.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people who know that story very, very well. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. Okay, so I love what you're saying because as you were describing the processes we go through, I could feel the physical aspect of it,
Hmm.
and I could feel my brain saying, "Oh, that's too big. I don't want to run into that brick wall. I did it last time and it hurt. I don't want to do that again." And so, and then bringing the emotional aspect of it, where it was like, okay, wait a minute. I can, if I tear down that brick wall little by little, so that, in some ways, it actually takes the physical imagination, if you will,
Hmm.
in the brain, visualizing tearing it down. And so the three are working together. Now, this is very interesting. Excuse me. I'm about to share something personal here. And here we go. So, Sherry and I have a joke, right?
Yes, it's the open the throat, open the throat.
Oh, how could anybody not open up to Hello Kitty? Come on. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing that I know, and if you don't know already, you'll be hearing me say over and over again. I have been in a 12-step program for the past 33 years, and I have learned how to live life on life's terms, if you will. Right now, here's the thing that I know. I'm working with many people, who have different addictions, right?
Mm.
We shop, we eat, we drink, we use drugs, we gamble, we do whatever it takes for us to feel better. But the thing that I found that has made the biggest impact, regardless of what the addiction is, right, is the one addiction that every human being on the planet has, and that addiction is, other people. Yeah. And so here's the thing. I know for me, which I didn't know that's what was happening at the time when it was happening, hindsight, right? So it was usually when somebody did not do something that I wanted them to do, like, take me someplace, say certain things, or buy me things, or just be a certain way. They didn't do what I wanted them to do. So I would get upset and I would go and buy something, drink something, do whatever, right? Or they did something I did not want them to do. And so I would use that as an excuse to go overindulge in whatever it was that I was overindulging in, right? And so understanding that's what happens, that a lot of my challenges came from my not realizing that everybody is focused on themselves. Everybody's doing the best they can for
Mhm.
themselves. We're designed to really take care of it, be responsible for our own welfare. And that means that I'm going to do whatever is best for me. You're going to do whatever is best for you. And this is where not knowing that's what was going on, I took it personally. And I know that over the years I've spoken with everybody I've spoken with, we do the same thing. And so Sherry, coming back to you, right? The understanding that no matter what I say, no matter what I do, the person in front of me is going to make the best possible decision for themselves.
Themselves, yes.
And so the decision becomes healthy if we're able to process things in a healthy way,
Hmm.
and it becomes unhealthy if we are making a decision out of, let's say, I don't want to say something, I don't want to say no to somebody because I'm afraid if I say no, they're not going to be my friend anymore.
Hmm.
So I become a doormat, or I become overly controlling, the things that we do when we don't know what to do. We grasp at straws. So, how do we start looking at ourselves and understanding that everybody's doing the best they can for themselves? How do we get that understanding? Because it was the hardest thing to do.
Oh,
Because, yeah, we take everything personally. If you love me,
and
you would do this, right?
yes, please, please, please satisfy my needs. I don't care about yours, just satisfy mine. That's just the way it is. Something to really come back to, though, I want to point out for the audience is that Anne really described the physical, cognitive, emotional, and how they work together. And so when we understand that if our expectations are up here and our tolerance is down here, this is the level of frustration that we endure day in, day out, all based on the external of what we want someone else to do. But when we have our expectations here, closer to what somebody's capacity is, and our tolerance up here for accepting them as who they are, this is our level of frustration, and it allows us to pivot. That pivot is the physical movement that allows us to go in a different direction because we've learned that the capacity of one is not the capacity of necessarily us, nor the expectation from us. And so it leaves way, huge amount of way to say, oh, well, am I going to choose this amount of frustration constantly, or am I going to choose this amount of frustration and learn to pivot? So this is where your power truly comes into play because both of these are your decision. And just like it takes muscles and power to break something down, you are going to break down your wall. That's that internal strength that's going to come into play as you chip away at the notion that somebody's going to do something for you, as you chip away the notion that life is going to become problem free, as you chip away that says, oh, if I just bring out the therapeutic technique, if I just wave the magic wand and everything, I wish I had a wand here, but I don't actually. Maybe next time.
We have to
Um,
get one.
I do have to get one. Whisk it all away and everything is just going to be perfect. And then we realized we came to the next step, we stepped forward, and then hit the wall because that was still a level of expectation that something's just going to work out the way we want to, versus tapping into the knowledge that we just gained that expectations of somebody's ability or environment's capacity and our tolerance is the determining factor. So, this is our strength. This is the becoming powerful. So, you went from powerless to powerful by your choice. So, which hand do you choose? And this is going to be the most important factor of getting started in any endeavor, whether it's going to be personal self growth, whether it's going to be addressing, since we're here today, the mental health component as World Mental Health Day exists today, or being there for somebody else without taking it personally, taking on a new adventure, a new career. So many individuals will revamp their career world in their 40s. We did the first 20 years of our adult life satisfying everybody else. Second half is better than the first, but we have to get past that physical, cognitive, and emotional block that says, but wait, we can't. It's like, what else are we supposed to do for the rest of our lives? Come on. We have all these choices. Empower yourself. So you're going to hear me say that just about every pillar of this, every module, every element. We are empowered with our own choice. No one chooses for us. So,
Yeah.
Anne, where did you find that empowerment that day that actually was the catalyst to put that right foot in front of that left foot and move it forward?
Well, first, I want to go back into the clarity because it was a process. It was a
Mm-hmm.
process. It was when I realized that I am powerless over other people, you know, no matter what I say or do, they're going to do what's best for them. Even if they do what I want them to do, it's because they want to please me, because they're upset about, maybe they don't want to get me upset. So even if they do what I want them to do, it's still about them. It's still about them feeling better. So I got that part. And the part where I really got that made all the difference is that if I'm powerless over other people, if I can't get them to do what I want them to do, they will do no matter what it is, no matter what I said, they're going to do the best that they think is for them. So whether it's pleasing me or whether it's saying no, whatever it is, it's going to be the best choice for themselves. If that's true that I'm powerless over other people, they're always doing what's best for them. Oh, wait a minute. That means they're powerless over me. So all the things that people are doing and saying that I think are controlling me, that I don't have power, it's like, wait, you mean I am choosing to do what you want me to do because I either want to make you happy, or I'm choosing to do what you want me to do because I don't want you to leave me. I don't want you to not like me. And so understanding that there was so much power that I got just acknowledging that fact, accepting that fact. And so from then on, the physical actions that I took, honestly, it was more like paying attention to other people, really trying to figure out, well, how can I give them what they want and me at the same time? Because it's always about, if we're all people, I want people in my life. I don't want to alienate people. And so being reasonable with myself and others was really what I came to, the decision I came to. And so it was more like physically paying attention, being still, listening to what the other person wants, mentally listening, listening, and emotionally making a decision. The decision that I'm making, is this out of negative feelings for myself because I don't feel good about myself, or is this a feeling that's going to make me happy to do something for somebody else because I'm feeling good to do it, and I'm doing it for the right reasons. So this was the process. That understanding, I don't know what it was almost like somebody turned a switch. When I understood that you're powerless over me, every decision I make is about me, and I'm
Mhm.
powerless over you, every decision you make is about you. It's like woohoo! Yeah, yeah, that was the moment.
And that's literally the light bulb moment that happens for so many individuals. Um, Whether you like the word powerless or powerful or not, or if you like the word accepting and becoming mindful, if you like um, powerless and empowered and strength, that's my strength moment, whatever it may be, it was really that factor when you switched from emotion to cognitive to physical,
Mhm.
then cognitive to physical, and then physical made you move and change your cognitive and then your emotional. I know that sounds like the biggest Ferris wheel of events, but that's the process of our brain. This is the same circulation that goes straight through our body, our heart that pumps the blood straight through, puts the oxygen all the way around, allows us to think, and gets us to move, folks.
It was just beautiful the
So,
way you just like you say, you just kinda clicked in. It's almost like, those, I have this visual, like those old-fashioned watches where you can see the clocks, one is turning the other.
huh?
Yeah, it's sort of like that. So the way you described it, I love it. And I'm super, super excited about this because it was huge for me, obviously, and I'm excited to be sharing this with everybody. And I love having that professional, the science behind it, if you will, that you're bringing to the table. I know the things that I've experienced. I know they worked, and I know when I make suggestions to other people from my experience and what I've done, I can tell them why it works, but I don't know. I can tell them how it works, but I can't tell them why it works. It's like I know how to drive a car, but I couldn't fix the car, right? So yeah. So you
Right.
you bringing this how do we do it? Why does it work aspect of it is just so empowering. I'm thrilled. Um, so is there anything more we should add right now before telling people what they're in for tomorrow?
Actually, I encourage everybody to take a quick minute to scan your body as you're thinking about whatever new project you want to undertake. Just like Ann and I do pretty much every morning now. It's we get together, we think about this thing that we're going to do, but first we wake up on our own and I do a little body check. What is my body telling me? My body's never going to lie. If I'm feeling resistance to something, I may feel sluggish. Anne needs to get something out, she coughs. And it's like there's a
Yeah.
part of us that tells us, hey, something's in the way. Let's go find out. Let's get that information. And you don't necessarily have the scientific data that's in, my paperwork and in my research and education. It's experience that also teaches other individuals. This is how we learn. We're observational beings. We just don't have to implement everything that we observe. Otherwise, the world would be very, very messy.
You
So it's take that moment, check where you're at. If you have to close your eyes or if you have to open your eyes and look at that goal that you're setting out for, run from top to bottom,
Mhm.
bringing it all the way down. How's your breathing? How's your heart rate? Are your hands tingling? That's our fight mode. Are your feet tingling? That's our flight mode. Are we trying to run away from something or are we ready to take it head on? And when you answer that question, then it starts to become more clear about what you need in that next step. If something is stopping me or making me feel a certain way, what do I still need to learn about it so that I can have the proper emotion and the proper moving forward? So, tomorrow, when you wake up, start your day that way because then we're going to be going into that next session of that journey to readiness, that you are here, but where are we going? So, becoming very present starts now and then start tomorrow. Start every day. Just taking in the present that is the present.
Yeah, so actually Sherry just gave you some things to do that will get you ready for tomorrow. No, this was good. This was good because tomorrow we're going to be doing You Are Here. Where are you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all that in there, right? Where are you? And like Sherry was saying, when I start to cough, if I am holding something back, I'm very outspoken. So if I'm not saying something, I will start to cough. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I need to do? And there are other physical symptoms that we all have. So we encourage you, pay attention between today and tomorrow. Join us here tomorrow. Or if you're watching a recording, watch the next segment, right? And uh, understanding your signals, your physical, mental, emotional signals that tells you, where you are. So you're going to be assessing where you are.
Mhm.
What are your signals? I'm super excited because you know what? I know I'll be uncovering some others I said, I don't know what I don't know. Well, I don't know some of the things my body is saying sometimes because it keeps changing its language. The body language is changing. And, as I get older, okay, it has a lot more to say.
Oh, we can run down that biological route another day. Because, yes, there's a whole different set of readiness and powerlessness.
Yeah, so being able to evaluate where we are, assess where we are at any given time is huge, because I know for me, like the example you gave, Sherry, was like, oh, I don't want to run into the brick wall because I did already and it hurt. It's like, hey, there's a brick wall. Why am I standing in front of a brick wall again? And do I want to bang my head against a brick wall or do I want to turn around and walk?
We do one of these.
Yeah, pick. Hey, bricks, move out of my way. I'm not even going to turn. Right? I love it. I love it. You guys, okay. This is fun stuff. But, it's serious stuff, but it's fun because for me, speaking for me, okay, when I am willing to just laugh, when I'm willing to just be. It's not the end of the world. You know what? I have gone through all kinds of stuff, just like all of you. We've all gone through all kinds of major things in our life, and we're still here. We lived through it. So a lot of courage comes from that. Our history, it teaches us everything. And Sherry's going to be, this series, we're going to be here every day, 5 days a week for the next month, and then past it. So Sherry's going to be walking us through old different kinds of exercises and things that we can do to first understand ourselves and second to communicate with others in a way that makes life easier for us. So I'm excited. I'm excited to learn. I hope you are too. And Sherry, thanks again. I'm just like, this is so cool. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to be doing it.
Remember, everybody, we're your cheerleaders.
I have to get my own pom poms now,
I, I wanted to throw it across the screen and have you pop up with one.
huh?
Maybe next time. Magic shows are after hours. Thank you, folks. We'll be back tomorrow.
Okay, I have a feeling I'm going to go to Party City now, right?
Perfect timing.
Okay, everybody. Sherry, thanks again. I just love the way you
Oh,
share the
my
information.
pleasure.
So appreciate you. And we appreciate all of you guys, right? So if you have
Mm.
questions, if you have comments, let us know. Let us know. Join the fun. Okay, and with that, we will see you same place tomorrow. We got another 30 minutes of Where Are You? Oh, no, here you are. There we go. Bye, everybody.